What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And a couple quick reminders to download and play Vampire and Need for Speed Payback, both offer for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those. Come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of them. And our game of the month randomly picked is Dragon's Dogma, which is a third-person action RPG where you play with other AI companions and fight a bunch of crazy monsters while climbing all over them. Make sure to play that. Come back at the end of this month for Game of the Month. We're going to talk about our opinions on that as well, and we hope to hear yours. We have a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time, and we're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. If you prefer to listen to us, you can type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment, and it will be considered most likely to be on our segment where we read your comments and reply to them on Tastycast, which we delayed. Tastycast should have came out yesterday, and it hasn't. We're going to film one midweek. So look forward to that. We will be doing a Tastycast. And so you can definitely type in hashtag AskTLG in your comment, and you will most likely have your comment prioritized over the ones that I pick at random if you don't type that. What else? We have Patreon, link down below. You can support the channel if you want to further than liking, commenting, and sharing this video, which hopefully you guys do, please, because we're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers, and I'm actually really excited about it because it took like years to get to 1,000 subscribers, and then in less than a year we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers, and it's fucking awesome. It's amazing to see like this channel grow, this community grow. I think we got a really good thing going here when it comes to the conversations that we have, so it'd be very cool to hit that 2,000 subscriber mark sooner than later, but it's going to happen eventually. You can't stop me. So share these videos, and thanks for watching. All right, Tasty Tuesday. We got two things to talk about, so kind of some depressing shit. Let's just jump into it. First bit of news.
So, Japanese publisher and developer Level 5, known for doing Ni No Kuni and the Yokai Watch series, has gotten to a point where they are not going to be releasing games to North America anymore, or at least it says ending operations in North America.
Some really weird wording.
Yeah. So I guess back in the middle of 2019, one of their smaller studios named Abby began doing layoffs, and apparently the employees were given every indication that was going to happen. And other than that, there isn't a lot of information as far as like why they're discontinuing the North America. I already forgot the word they used again. Operations, and especially because they have already announced there's going to be a third Ni No Kuni coming out. There's a fourth Yokai Watch coming out. There's a mobile Ni No Kuni game coming out. And some of those were shown with English subtitles in the trailers. So what do we think? What do we think the future of their games are going to be here? Do you think that other people are going to take up the publishing rights for North America in their stead? Or do you think that this is just going to turn into something we have to buy as an import?
That's a really interesting thing you just brought up, because I've read about 3 or 4 articles doing research for this episode on this, and they all speculate that this will discontinue their games coming over here. They're very gloom and doom about it, but then you said like maybe somebody else can take that up and start publishing here for them, which is not uncommon. That's actually very common. Maybe they're just done with publishing here, which makes complete sense. So I kind of bit the bait and I was like, oh shit, this isn't good. Thinking like that very well may be what's happening. So if I do, look further into the more like we're not going to get their games anymore, where my brain was at before you mentioned that, that would really suck. I really liked Ni No Kuni 2. I liked Ni No Kuni. I played the Yokai Watch game. I played a demo of it. It's not really my cup of tea, but it was a quality game. It felt good playing it, and I've heard nothing but good things about those games. So it would really suck if for some reason they decided they didn't want to release games outside of Japan for whatever reason. I feel like their games sell well enough, not like super bangers, but Ni No Kuni made a pretty big splash when it came out. Ni No Kuni 2 didn't really get talked about a whole lot, but I know people have played it.
For sure.
So I would be curious to look at the sales of that. I feel like the Yokai Watch probably sells pretty decently to people who aren't me. and they have an overall quality and visual style to their games that I think is good. I don't think they make cheap, shitty games. Ni No Kuni 2's story was a little minimal, but the game itself was fun. And the idea of getting a Ni No Kuni 3 gets me excited. That's a first day buy for me. So if for some reason we don't get that, I'd be kind of pissed if I didn't get access to that game. So in worst case scenario, if they decide for whatever reason they're not releasing games here anymore, it would be a big blow for me. But I feel like for a lot of people, and that would really suck, and I'd like an explanation if that was the case, or at least some numbers possibly. But if it is just them reallocating the way they're doing things, first off, I feel bad for everybody who's been laid off. Layoffs suck, specifically, with this year happening and things are just rough for fucking everybody. My thoughts go out to anybody who's losing their job at this point. It's awful. And in the gaming industry, layoffs are always a really bad sign. Because normally that company is going to go under. It's going to get fucking, shut down. Or they're kind of like go to free to play and have like 3 people run that server while everybody else is just like, good luck. Hopefully you find something else. So that sucks. But if it is what you're saying could be them finding a new publisher, that would make the most sense. It would make sense, if they're not making enough money here to really merit publishing stuff over here, and maybe have another company by proxy publish things for them. Very, very normal thing to see in a lot of Japanese games specifically, and that may be what they're doing. I hope that's what they're doing, and it wouldn't even be surprising at this point if it is what they're doing. And yeah, that's what I hope. That's what I hope they're doing, because I would really like to play Ni No Kuni 3. Yeah, what do you think?
I mean, pretty much the same thing. The only thing I think I have to add to that is, if it's a cost thing, I don't know why they wouldn't just maybe limit North America sales to digital only.
Yeah.
And then even if they don't want to do that, they could still have a publisher who is already established in doing imports and stuff like that, do the same thing there as well. So
unless they don't want to put the money into translating it, put the work into that.
Well, there's a lot of, especially like on Steam, a lot of like Japanese games that come out. There's no English voice acting in them. They just localize some subtitles for it and release it.
I mean, you could people do fan subs for things since the beginning of time, and fucking you could easily pay some random person, hopefully a fair pay, but I guarantee there'd be people who'd be willing to fucking volunteer to do that kind of shit. So something that simple as to just put subtitles in the game, I think would be completely acceptable if that were the case.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be the only thing I could even suggest outside of if it is in case the case that they're just not interested in this market anymore. Maybe they don't sell their products here. I know Yokai Watch is kind of I know it was big in Japan. I don't know if it was very big here.
There's a brief little time where I saw it kind of trying to pick up, and then
it was the first game though.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
And they're talking about Yokai Watch 4 now, which I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it came out in Japan, I guess. So.
I didn't know 2, 3, or 4.
Yeah, so which is not a good sign.
Yeah.
And then,
but I'm also not the demographic. But I do. My radar is open, like
right.
to all gaming news. You'd figure I'd hear about it.
And then, Ni No Kuni, though, like you said, know people who've played it, didn't really get talked about a lot. Other than like when it came out, people were like, "Oh, it's a really fun game." Blah blah. Here's some decent review scores. Conversation was over. So
yeah, the first game was the big one just because of its visual style.
Yeah, because it came from Studio Ghibli. So.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, I mean, hopefully we get the best case scenario and we can still have access to those games. Even if it is like in a super minimal market. I mean, even if it's just like Steam releases, which sucks for console players, but just some avenue for those games to still be here, just so we're not completely cut off. Because I would hate to see that. Because like you, I really enjoyed Ni No Kuni 2. I really liked some of the things they did there because they were reminiscent of things that were in other RPGs that no longer exist. And I'm getting kind of bummed out that these games that are taking these creative approaches to the traditional JRPG format just keep getting axed. So
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a lot of them are becoming more and more linear, story-driven RPGs, which is fine. But like,
yeah, it has its place as well for sure.
yeah, I just kind of miss that whole like exploration and secrets behind the mountain over here and mini boss over there and all that kind of shit, which Ni No Kuni did. I liked exploring and grinding and stuff like that, which is something that I feel like some games definitely are missing nowadays. So
Yeah,
anything else?
we'll see.
All right, let us know in the comments, what do you guys think about this news, or at least some of the speculation? Do you think level 5 is done with the market here or outside of Japan? Do you think they might just be giving publishing rights over to someone else or opening that up to someone else? Do you think they got a different plan, maybe just doing digital only stuff? What do you think about these layoffs? Do you think they mean anything? Are you a fan of level 5? Have you played Ni No Kuni, Ni No Kuni 2? Are you a Yokai Watch fan? In this article, it says there is a Ni No Kuni feature-length film on Netflix. Is that out? And if it is, have you seen it? I had no idea that was a thing. Would you recommend it to us? And let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. Second bit of news is some Crucible news, which was Amazon's foray into AAA game development, rivaling games or trying to rival games like Valorant and Overwatch and other big AAA titles. Apparently, that game is getting the axe, though. So via Engadget, we got Amazon pulls the plug on its first AAA game, Crucible. After a rough launch and return to beta, Crucible goes away for good after November 9th. So very soon. Gonna read this article so we know what the fuck's going on, and then we're gonna talk about it. Earlier this year, Amazon tried to make a splash with its first AAA title, a free-to-play shooter called Crucible that was originally announced in 2016. The multiplayer game launched in May, but quickly returned to beta status as developers cut down the available modes and said they were adding polish. I almost said Polish. Today, the team published a blog post saying that after evaluating feedback from the closed beta, they've decided to discontinue development entirely. They got feedback and they went, well, fuck this game. All in-game purchases will be refunded, and the team is apparently transitioning to other projects in Amazon games, including New World. There will be a final playtest and community celebration to mourn the loss of this game. I'm adding that part. Celebration event before matchmaking is disabled, and after that, players will only have access to custom games until the server shut down at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on November 9th. Amazon tried to do battle with major games like Call of Duty, Valorant, and Overwatch, but ultimately came up short. This game is nothing like Call of Duty. Now we'll be watching to see what happens with its next projects and whether those have similarly brief window to find their footing. I believe this game came out this year, or at least went into beta this year, and it is done. I played this game in the beta, and I'll talk about that. But what do we think about Amazon's first AAA game, Crucible, going into beta, getting the axe, shutting down November 9th? Do you think this is kind of a missed opportunity? Do you think it's a good thing that they're doing here? What do you think about them reallocating their resources from this team, moving that over to games like New World, which is another game coming out by them that keeps getting pushed back? And what are our overall thoughts on this situation?
So I honestly, the first thing it does is worry me. And the only reason I say that is because Amazon is not a veteran, I guess, in the game development world. And this is their first announcement in it, title they've brought out to us to play and whatnot. And they gave up really fast. Especially...
Yeah, they did.
Especially in a time where like a lot of people will come out and they'll bring out a game, and like to use the example of Hello Games, released a game that everyone was pissed off about, spent a year of development time and patches and add-ons and stuff like that to make it a better game, and now people really enjoy the game. And you see that a lot in the industry now. Amazon is not short on money or resources, so the only thing here is they don't want to spend the money. That's plain and simple. And I'm not trying to upset people here, but it kind of reminds me of I've already forgot the name now. Scalebound.
Oh
Where
yeah.
Microsoft just was like, I don't want to do it anymore. So
I wish that was their statement. I don't want to do it anymore.
I mean, it's pretty much what it is. They're like, we're putting money into it. We're not sure we're gonna get the amount back. You know, we don't want to take that gamble. And obviously, it's their money and their risk factor and whatnot. So I mean, I can't say a whole lot there. It's just unfortunate. I don't know anything about this game. I know you weren't super impressed when you played it. At least that's what you told me. You'll have your own opinion, obviously, to share with that. But that's my only information I have on this game, was one person's opinion. So, I mean, obviously, that doesn't say a lot about the game itself at that point. I honestly kind of wish... I mean, it literally just feels like they gave up, and I wish they wouldn't have. Is all. So...
Yeah, and I'm not going to read their statement, but I read it already, and they go from saying like they put a lot of work and heart and effort into this game, and they are upset that they're not going to continue working on it. So you can tell this was from higher up.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, you guys are moving to this project.
Yeah.
So, because nobody puts time into games and goes, okay, well, that game fucking sucks. Let's move on to something else. Most developers are going to try and work on something they worked years on to make it, better. It's kind of the crucial aspect of fucking Crucible. It's a game made by such. I feel like big money is the huge factor here. You brought up Hello Games, small indie developer, even though it wasn't advertised as an indie game. It's an indie game. It's a very small baby fucking game by a baby fucking developer that got big money from PlayStation, but it's not like a big AAA PlayStation game.
Yeah.
When you're a small developer and you make a fucking game and people aren't happy with it, you either fucking give up and die, or you have to fucking make it better. You have to salvage all that work you put into that game.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft's a huge AAA developer that will salvage the fuck out of what they make. To the point where I feel like it's part of their development now to just have like, just safety fucking nets here and there going like, we gotta.
They just released betas.
Pretty much, yeah. They release betas as games, and then they're like, wait, you don't like it, we'll fix it. But this, you brought up Scalebound. This reminds me of Epic when Fortnite took off.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, shit.
Paragon,
thank you. They were making so much money off of Fortnite that Paragon's success didn't matter. It didn't make sense for them to continue it. That was like eye-opening for me when they said that. They didn't say the game was failing. They didn't say it wasn't making money or whatever. It just didn't. It paled so much in comparison to Fortnite's money that it made zero sense for them to continue working on it, to the point where they gave away millions of dollars worth of assets of that game.
Yeah.
That just tells you how much money they're making off Fortnite. Amazon's one of the biggest companies in the fucking world, if not the biggest. It's gigantic.
Massive. Yeah.
This project, in my opinion, for Amazon, not for the people who made this game, literally probably just did not make sense for them to continue it. And so from higher up, they went, don't even worry about it. It didn't work. Fuck it. Move to the next thing. Oh, we can fix it. No, that feedback, people aren't into it. Let's just fucking start working on New World. We got to make sure that works, because if we have two games come out that have bad fucking, if people have negative opinions of two games that we're just starting to make, it's not going to look good on us. So we got to make New World good. I feel like that's what happened. And again, I got to emphasize, this sounds like with big money, they can make those decisions of going like, it's not like, oh man, it's a huge dent for us. It's just like, stop working on that. Doesn't make sense to continue working on that. Let's work on this, drop that, because it's crazy. I played this game. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was super fucking generic. I think it didn't play that well. I think the idea wasn't that intriguing. And it was so undercooked, it was stupid. There was like almost no sound in the game I was playing it. Very minimal stuff going on. There wasn't even like music. when you're running around the arena and stuff. It's just silent. You hear people jumping and gunshots. That's it. It was like, it felt like an alpha. And I was open to this. I've talked about on the show. I was like, oh, this is their first AAA game. Fucking, I want to check it out. I checked it out. I was like, no way. I can't see myself playing this game. That being said, I've never made statements like that on a game and hoped that they would shut it down.
Yeah.
I say shit like that because I'm like, I hope they can make it good.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I hope for. So like when I hear that they're just like, fuck that game, it's over. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Because most companies can't make a decision like that.
Yeah.
You have to try and make some money off of it. But Amazon's like, nope, fuck that thing. So it's really kind of crazy because like I said before, you know, this didn't fully release. It went into beta. People like me, I guess a lot of people like me, weren't impressed with it. They took that feedback, and I'm assuming they probably were going to do something to make it better. But somebody decided it's not worth it, which really kind of sucks. So mostly, I feel bad for anybody who might have enjoyed this game and was hoping for something or something from it. They're hoping for that. I feel really bad for the people who made it. They're still working. They're moving on to different projects, but fuck, that sucks. To work on this game, you got this idea, and you're like, hey, we've been working on this project for a while, and then they're like, get rid of it, work on that, and they're like, just like that? Like, we're just done? So that's really wild. I can't believe they're not going to try and salvage something from this, specifically because it never fully released. I mean, like, that feedback must have been really fucking bad. The numbers must have been really bad.
Yeah,
I played like 2 matches, and I bounced and uninstalled. They got all that data. So if there's a bunch of people who did that, I just can't believe you wouldn't try something else. But the mode that they had in the game wasn't even that compelling, and that was like the big thing they're selling it on. It didn't sound cool on paper, and when I played it, it didn't feel good. You could have took that mode out, which I would not tell them to do that. Like, make it good, and just replace it with like run-of-the-mill fucking FPS modes, and I think you would have probably got better reception from it, which is really sad. I definitely want people to try new ideas.
For sure.
Hunt Showdown's like one of my favorite fucking shooters in the last like 10 years, and it's because they really said, who gives a fuck, we're doing what we want. They literally said that pretty much, and it shows. It worked. So I want people to try new things, but you already have characters with abilities and guns with maps made. Throw some fucking code in there and make just some normal fucking modes and get something out of it. Make it free to play, which I think it was already going to be. And I don't know. It's just this whole thing's crazy because like this game didn't even get a chance. Again, that's that Amazon big money. It doesn't make sense. Fucking burn to the ground. Let's move on. It's just weird. It's kind of depressing because even though I wasn't like a fan of it at all, you know, there's room to improve. There always is. So yeah, November 9th, pretty much right around the corner. This is shutting down, and that really fucking sucks because I really think this game didn't even get a chance to try anything. And that's not the way I would want to see it go. Kind of what you're saying, though, worrying. This is this game was announced out of nowhere, too. Like, New World had been talked about for a long time, and they're like, oh, by the way, next week we're releasing Crucible. It's our first AAA game. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking out of nowhere. And just like it showed up, it's leaving instantly.
Yeah, the only thing that is a little comforting is I do see people talking about New World. But I also think that is heavily because the MMO market has been kind of dead for a while. And now you have a handful of companies making some right now. So it's going to get talked about.
I'm hearing whispers of companies talking about making or wanting to make MMOs and shit too. So
yeah. Which I'm down for. I love MMOs, but
I love the idea of MMOs. They just got stagnant.
Yeah.
And with that, people went, okay, well, where's the big money at? And they copied WoW. And the ones that didn't copy WoW, we've talked about this before, they're the ones that lasted. You got WoW and the ones that didn't copy them, who lasted. Everyone else, they're all free-to-play games that, you know, probably aren't seeing growth. But you know, they're still around probably. So, yeah. I would love a brand new revolutionary MMO. It's been years since we've had one try to push the boundaries of what MMOs can do. I don't want to turn this into an MMO discussion, but we both have a lot of thoughts on these or on this topic. I keep hearing pretty underwhelming things about New World. So in a sense, they're very quick to fucking abandon it. Would they be that quick to abandon New World? Which wouldn't be good, because MMO, you have to fucking let simmer. You gotta let it, like, do its magic. You gotta fucking see what people like and what they don't like, and then move towards the good stuff and build upon it. Final Fantasy 14 is a great example. That came out, people fucking hated it.
Yep.
Now people love it. I mean, like, that's the game. There's
like
been expansions of WoW that people fucking hated, and it just goes. That's MMOs. So,
well, yeah, and you have to be willing to put that time in and to take that feedback, though. It's the only way MMOs can be successful, all of them, period. So,
yeah.
But they are designed to be a service. So,
Well, Guild Wars 2 came out back when we played it, and it was great. But then people are like, we want mounts. And they're like, there won't be mounts in this. It has fast travel. And people are like, well, we want mounts. And they're like, no. And then I started playing again recently. There's fucking mounts everywhere. And they're really cool mounts. So it's like, so, you know, MMOs, they got their hard ideas, but then they also got to fucking kind of go, hey, we need people to, like, come back every month. So we got to find a balance. And New World, I feel like, is gonna be a balancing act for sure with what I'm hearing about it.
yeah, I haven't really heard a lot about it. I played it a little bit, and I thought it was fine, but I didn't get far enough into, like, getting into the meat of the content, though. So my opinion is really kind of shallow on it.
Yeah.
I also think that I'm probably going to be a little more forgiving than most, though, when it comes to that. So
We are, in general, me and you, like, when
Yeah.
it comes to that kind of shit. So we're very, I mean, unless it's Life is Strange, it's very hard for me to lash out at a game. So, well, there's some other game too. There's a couple. Oh, Blair Witch. That game's awful. Yeah. Overall, though, this really, in my opinion, sucks. I'm glad nobody's unemployed from this, but goddamn, what a hit to somebody who's, you know, a passionate game developer. That you just have to abandon your game and move on to something else. But yeah, it's tough too, because like I said, I played it. It was not good. It did not have an identity. Nothing about it really stood out, aside from the game that kind of felt really undermade. So it's tough. But yeah, I would have liked to see them try, like, something. Like, you know what? We get that you guys didn't dig the beta. Here's some big new changes we're bringing to the game. Get people excited about it. Make me go, okay, well, I'll come back and check it out again.
And I do think it's important to emphasize that by I wish they would have tried is definitely a they, as in whoever made the decision to quit, because I'm sure the people working on the game probably wanted to keep going. So
probably, but yeah, people who were pulling the strings and got the money probably told them otherwise. So, anything else you want to say on it?
Hopefully Amazon can show us that this is just a one-off, because I really
don't want this to be like the way they handle things.
Yeah, because at that point, like, why you have to have trust.
Yeah.
And your customers, if they start noticing you, like, this trend of you going, nope, give up, they're gonna stop buying your shit. So.
Yeah. Well, after Epic pulled Paragon, that was like a big blow to me, because I was like, that was my favorite fucking MOBA.
Yep.
And you guys instantly were like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm like, I get that, but holy shit, man, it's just gone. That's wild.
I'm really kind of bummed out they didn't, like, try to sell it to somebody.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they gave the assets out, but now when you look at what people have done with it, they're making their own games, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it's amazing they gave those assets out. It's insane. I've seen all sorts of fucking different versions of Paragon called something else, and all the characters have backstories, and they're their own games. They're not even MOBAs anymore. It's weird. I haven't really seen that outside of, like, modding communities. But yeah, they could have totally sold that to somebody.
Yeah.
They could have made money off of it, and the people who bought it could have made money off of it. It's fucking weird. But again, these are two situations where people have so much money that they can make decisions like that, whereas somebody else who values what they made can try and salvage something out of their game. So it's really weird, and I don't like it. I don't like the idea of pulling the plug on something instantly like that.
Yeah.
Makes me not trust the developer.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like I said, trust is a big one.
Because I'm like, what other game are you going to release, and can I trust that you'll keep that around?
Yeah, and, like, you know, maybe it won't be a couple months, maybe it will be a couple years, but then what if I invest a couple years of my life into this game, and then you go, well, it's not making any money, you know, bye. And don't get me wrong, that is something everyone who plays MMOs, I guess an example, has to deal with at some point. Kind of. I mean, EverQuest is still running. So, I mean, like, I don't know.
Well, and this shit, too, where you release a game that's not fully finished and then you take people's fucking money and then you got to refund it. It's really annoying because, like, that literally happened with Paragon. I gave them, I think I only gave them like 20 bucks. They're like, we're giving out refunds, but there's this whole fucking system you got to go through.
Yeah.
You got to sign into this thing and fucking prove we need your receipts and shit. I was like, I don't want to do all that.
Yeah.
Like, it's 20 bucks. For someone else, maybe, like, you know, I need that 20 bucks back. But fucking, for me, I was like, I don't want to go through that. I think it's kind of shitty the way you did this. I think your system of refunding is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And, yeah, after that, I was like, I don't play Fortnite, so... other than that, I can only look forward to their engine.
Yep.
So yeah, with this, it is a bad peek into how Amazon is going to handle game development.
Yeah.
I think it's really the big thing here. Is this a warning? Don't know. What if New World doesn't pull the numbers they want in? Some people put in a shitload of hours, and then they're like, it's not working out for us. We're going to cut it. I'm like, oh, cool. That was a fun new MMO I got to try and get into for a second there. I've seen MMOs get cut quickly, so.
For sure.
Not this quick, but pretty fucking fast. The game's been out for like a year, and they're like, yeah, the server's going to go down. We're not getting the numbers. Like Disintegration. Disintegration came out this year, and the servers went down, or are going down soon. It was it had an online versus mode. Nobody's playing it, so they just took the servers down. And then Pagan Online, they're converting from a multiplayer game back to a single player game. It's weird. Like, I don't. It's crazy that people are just like, fuck it. But if you're not getting the numbers, you're not getting the numbers. Anyway, I'm going to a different topic. So, anything else you want to say?
No.
Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about Crucible closing down Amazon? First AAA game closing down on November 9th. Did you play it? Did you not play it? Did you want to play it? Did you play it and you had thoughts on it like me? Did you dislike it? Did you like it? What do you think about the game in general? Do you wish that it maybe could have tried to get somewhere where people could enjoy this game? Are you like, fuck it, if the game's bad, the game's bad? What do you think about Amazon and the way they handled this? What do you think about the developer? I forgot what they're called. It just says Crucible. What do you think about how this affects them? What do you think about them moving over to support working on New World and other projects? What do you think about the future of Amazon games? And let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter at Tasty Loot Gaming. I've changed my Twitter handle to TLG Tasty Senpai, so it's a little more personal. I have people on Twitter going like, hey, Tasty Loot Gaming. And I'm like, I should probably get a little more personal with people so they know it's me. So yeah, check that out at Tasty Loot Gaming on Twitter. And we have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We are talking about potentially doing a group stream, watching the Dragon's Dogma Netflix show on there possibly and discussing it. We will, once we get the details on that situation, let you guys know so you can participate in that, but that would be on the Discord, so link down below. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and the other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us, and we have Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. It's very much appreciated. All your support is very appreciated. And my name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Until next episode, which will be TastyCast. I'm not sure what day that's going to be, but it's going to be sometime this week. Have a good one, guys, and take it easy.